All right. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad. His mystical teacher, Master Wallace Fard Muhammad. Let's examine that. Because Master Fard Muhammad didn't actually call his teachings Islam to begin with. He called it the mathematical theology. Anyone who knows about mathematics knows and understands that mathematics is a language that is symbolic. It is a language of symbols. Let's understand Master Fard Muhammad. Is his name Master Fard Muhammad? He says his name is Master Wally Fard Muhammad. In fact, the name Wally from Sufism is not even a name. It's a title. The name Wally, which his name is Wally or Wallace because he had many names, means master. These are all Masonic terms. I'm saying to you today that Master Fard Muhammad and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad were both Shriners. They were both Masons. They were both part of what is called the ancient noble mystic Shriners, or the ancient Egyptian mystic Shriners. And my proof here today, again, when I say that he talked allegory, is that the mathematical theology, again, mathematics is a language of symbols. Now I'm going to go straight into some evidence here. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, out of his own mouth, said that he was a Mason. Where did he say it? Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to the Theology of Time and you'll hear what he said. But the first thing I want to do is show you that the 120 lessons is set up the same way as the Masonic lessons. The question and answers is the same format as in the Masonic temple. Elijah Muhammad, matter of fact, all of the temples of Islam, temple number 7, temple 20 number 7, temple, the Allah of Mecca temple number 90. This is the same format in which the Shriners set up their temple. You can go right now to Allah's temple number 1, Shriners. Mecca's temple number 27. So right now I just showed you a correlation, a similarity here. Let's identify his symbol. To say that the man is a Mason, we have to identify his symbols. One of the biggest symbols that Elijah has is the flag of Islam. Is it indeed a flag? Is it indeed the flag of Islam? No. Because actually the flag of Islam was a green flag, or the black flag that the Muslims always wave. In fact, if it was the flag of Islam, why did he come and bring us a Turkish flag? If you look at the Turkish flag and the flag of Islam, you will see that the flag of Islam that Elijah brought us is actually the Turkish flag with this moon, the crescent of the moon, and the star backwards. Now, brothers and sisters, I want you to take note of the Shriners. The Shriners wear fezzes on their head. A red fez with a moon, crescent of a moon, a star, and a sword above their head. If you take the flag of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, take his flag and turn the moon and the crescent of the star this way and wrap it around your head, you will actually have the fez of the the Shriners. Shriners study, this is what they study. They study the Quran, they study the Bible, and they also study, guess what? What they call the Book of the Dead, which we know it to be by the name of the Per-Em Heru. Okay, evidence. Elijah Muhammad says in the 4th degree.
Where that's coming from?
The 4th degree. I'm going to quote all my references.
He says the 4th degree.
In the 4th degree, why do we run Yaku and his man-made devil from the roots of civilization over the hot Arabian desert into the caves of West Asia as they now call Europe? What is the meaning of EU and ROPE? What life did the devil bring with him? What kind of life did he live in? And how long before Musa came to teach the devil their forgotten trick knowledge? I'm not going to quote the whole degree. because they started making trouble amongst the righteous people, accusing the righteous people of telling lies and causing them to fight and kill one another. Yakub was an original black man who was the father of the devil. He taught the devil to do this devilishment. Listen, the root of civilization is in Arabia, at the holy city of Mecca, which means where the knowledge and the wisdom of the original man started when the planet was first found. We ran the devil over the hot Arabian desert, and we took everything from him except for his language and made him walk every step of the way. It was 2,200 miles. Stop. Elijah. No, I'm not finished. I got 15 minutes. Elijah Muhammad, and you can download this information yourself. Elijah Muhammad depicts Freemasonry as a true rendition of the Caucasian man's history, whom blacks permitted to come amongst them in the Holy Land. But once they started causing trouble and confusion, according to Muhammad, they were stripped to everything, interpreted meaning the Islamic supreme wisdom, other than the original man's language, the royal garments, and gave him an apron to hide his shame, hoodwinked, cable, told him, and ran him 2,200 miles across the hot Arabian desert. Muhammad teaches that the Asiatic black man chased him back to the hills and caves on the sides of Europe. I want to go into the Shriners. In the Shriners recognition test, in the question and answers sequence, it reads, are you a noble mystic Shriner? Answer, I am so and accepted by all men of noble birth. Question, have you traveled any? Answer, I have. Question, from where to what place have you traveled? Answer, traveled east over the hot burning sands of the desert. Where did you, where were you stopped at? Answer, at the Devil's Pass. Okay, and what were you requested to do? I was requested to give a few drops of urine. Why were you requested to do this? As a token of my renouncing the wells and evils of this world and be granted permission to worship at the shrine. At what shrine did you worship? At the shrine of Islam. Did you ride? Answer, yes, I rode the camel until I was caused to dismount. Question, then what did you do with your camel? Answer, I tied him. Where did you tie him? Okay. Right there, you can see the correlation where it says, we ran the devil over the hot Arabian desert. It is in the ritual when you are being initiated into the shrine that they hoodwink you, cable you, take off all of your clothing. They take everything from you except for your language. And they make you cross the hot burning sands of the desert. This is the Masonic ritual right there in the 120 lessons. I just showed you the correlation. Now, evidence of Muhammad saying that he was a Mason. Muhammad goes on to state, I reckon y'all saying now, we'll get you for that now. But this is true. I must tell the truth. That is the truth. Don't go and buy any more masonry. Come and accept free Islam. I've been waiting on the Masons to come over and join me for years. And now I'm going to tell on you if you don't. If you won't get any more members if I start telling the truth as I know it. I know your first degree to the 33rd degree.
Now who is that speaking, brother?
This is Elijah Muhammad speaking.
Okay.
He said that he knows the first degree to the 33rd degree. I know exactly what it means, but you don't know what it means. Elijah appeared to have been initiated into Freemasonry via his testimony, and as a religious critic of Masonry, went into great lengths to interpret the ritual and its symbolism, which he maintains that Masonry was set up for Caucasian people whom the Asiatic black man, believers in Islam, chased out of the Holy Land because of immoral behavior. Okay? Let me get to the fruit of it now. Muhammad taught that the Asiatic black man stripped the Caucasian man of everything other than the original man's language, including the original garments. Moreover, hoodwinked, cable-toed, and gave him an apron to hide his shame, and walked him 2,200 miles, the hot Arabian desert. Okay? This perhaps is consistent with the ritual aspects of the Blue Lodge. and definitely with the shrine ritual. Muhammad said that when the black man crosses the hot burning sands, he in essence lacks knowledge of self and the history. Moreover, they are acting out the history of Caucasian people, Muhammad stated. Muhammad states, I will not go into the history of the Masons since I was a Mason myself once, and I swore to not reveal the secrets. Masons who have reached such degrees as the 32nd and third degree are not called Masons. They are called Muslim Shriners. And in the lessons, he called them Muslim sons.
4 minutes.
They are reaching us. When you take the 33rd degree, you are taught to greet each other, Assalamu alaikum. This is the reason why Elijah taught his followers to say Assalamu alaikum. His teaching was first and foremost, it was safe. It kept him safe. Because as a Mason, you're under oath. But it doesn't mean that you cannot speak. It means that when you speak, you must speak in a symbolic and a cryptic language. He taught his followers to say Assalamu alaikum. This is the same greeting that the Shriner Masons greet each other by. Assalamu alaikum. The temples, the red flag is the fez. The whole thing is Masonic in its origin. And part two. Do I got any time?
Yeah, you got 3 minutes.
Okay, so therefore, if he is a Mason and he speaks in a symbolic language, I just told you what shrine to study. They study the Quran. Elijah was an adept in the Quran. They study the Bible. If you go through the teachings, you'll see the Bible all in the teachings. And they study the Book of the Dead. I just told you that Islam that Elijah created was Christianity. It was the Islam on the outside. But on the inside was none other than the Nile Valley teachings. And that's why his teaching was so powerful. Because the symbolism that was in it, like our ancestors dealt with symbols, would attract the mind and keep them locked into his teachings. And with that, I pass the mic.
Okay, that's peace. That's peace. Okay, brother Tahuti.
Okay.
In this round, I would like for you, I mean, you're going to go into what you want, but I would like for you to go into detail on how the 120 is allegorical.
Right.
I want you to go into detail how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was slowly trying to bring the people back into ancient Kemet through their teaching. I want you to show and prove that fact. So for right now, brother, you got until that long hand reaches the 4. This is the last segment here after Shah, and then we're going to open the floor for questions.
Right.
Okay.
So you got until 4 o'clock, brother. I mean, until that long hand reached the 4.
Okay. Again, I told you that Elijah was a Mason. Masons are under oath. They cannot tell the truth that they learned in their secret organization. It doesn't mean that they can't talk, but when they talk, they must speak in a cryptic language. Elijah told us, and I'm going to quote from Elijah. He said, 6,000 years ago, a scientist named Yaqub created another tribe on the earth. Understand, prior to the time of the explosion, he's talking about the moon, took place, there were 13 tribes, but the 13th tribe was destroyed in the explosion. And then 6,000 years, another tribe came on the scene. It was made different from all of the 12 tribes that were here when it arrived. A new tribe, a weak tribe, a wicked tribe, a devilish tribe, a diabolical tribe, a tribe that is devilish by nature. So that before they got on the scene, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that when we came with the earth, the oldest city on the earth is the holy city of Mecca in Arabia. Mecca is the oldest city on earth. Mecca is the city that is forbidden. No one can go there but the black man. No one can go there but the Muslims. No one can go there but the true believer. No one can go there but the righteous. And at Mecca are kept the records of the history that go back to the beginning of time. He says that 50,000 years ago, another scientist named Shabbat became angry with the scientists of his day. Stop. Bullshit. In fact, in ancient time, there was no city called Mecca. And I quote, Walter Williams, the historical origin of Islam, right? Let's go into Mecca. In the Encyclopedia Britannica, 15th edition, in the article on Mecca states, ancient Mecca was on an oasis on the old caravan trade route that linked the Mediterranean world with South Arabia, East Africa, and South Asia. Located about midway between Maghrib in the south and the Petra in the north, the town gradually developed during the Roman and Byzantine times into the important trade religious center. It is known to Ptolemy as Makaraba. Under the Quraysh, it became a type of city-state with strong commercial links to the rest of Arabia, Ethiopia, and Europe. Mecca became a place for trading, for the pilgrimage, and for poetry festivals. Facts, comments, and questions. To what let's not even go into that. Muslims maintain that Mecca is the holy city of Islam, the birthplace of Muhammad, according to the Quran. The first sanctuary appointed to mankind was that at Becca, which is a Kemetic word, Becca. They took the word Becca and made it into the Arabic word Mecca, a blessed place, a guidance for the people. In Surah 3:96 and in Surah 6:92 and in Surah 42:5, we find that Mecca is the mother of all settlements. According to Islamic tradition, Adam placed the black stone in the original Kaaba. Alright. Here's the fact of the matter. In ancient time, there was no city of Mecca. He says that Mecca means a paradise. In fact, Mecca was a barren land. How could it be the root of civilization when in ancient time it was a desert, barren land? How could Arabia be the root of civilization when Arabia is a desert land, a barren land, a land that is devoid of life in the ground? There is no black soil where you can plant the seed of life to grow life out. In fact, the root of civilization is in Uganda, where our ancestors from the Nile Valley said, at the foot of the moon, Mount Kilimanjaro, and that would be Uganda, which he had stated earlier, Uganda, all the way down the Nile River. This is the root of civilization where the original man started when the planet was first found. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said it out of his own goddamn mouth. He said, in the degree, and I quote it again, he said that Mecca was the oldest city on the earth. I want you to go out and get the book. I don't have it here today. It's called the Supreme Wisdom Book 1 and the Supreme Wisdom Book 2. In the book, he talks about the history of the tribe of Shabazz. And he said that the tribe of Shabazz, and I quote, lived along the rich Nile Valley of Egypt and also the present seat of Mecca. So wait a minute, Mr. Elijah Muhammad. What are you saying? Are you saying that we lived in Mecca and that Mecca was the oldest city on the earth? I'm quoting from what he said. Then in the Supreme Wisdom, he says that it was the rich Nile Valley of Egypt. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. He tells us in symbolic language, and right there he told you straight out that the root of civilization was in the rich Nile Valley of Egypt. He says, and also the present seat of Mecca. So, in fact, and also is a secondary statement. The primary statement is along the rich Nile Valley of Egypt. Because you can't prove to me that the holy city of Mecca is the root of civilization. There it is. Bam! Got the book. Got the book right here. The tribe of Shabazz. Let's go into it. But before I go into that, I want to address some of these statements that he made about the Nile Valley. He says, let me go in here. Tribe of Shabash. Tribe of Shabash.
You better just talk.
Okay,
so you
I'm
don't
gonna
kill your
just
time,
keep
man.
going on. But
You
in
can come back
fact,
to that.
I want to get back to this here. He says that these two men right here, he says this is the real Master Fard Muhammad. And this is the one they got on the FBI file. This is the one that the Nation of Islam dons around. Let me tell you something, world. In fact, this is the man that is on the FBI files. You can go online right now, go to the FBI files, and you'll see it. As a matter of fact, True Islam, Mr. Wesley Muhammad, says this is not Master Fard Muhammad. The Nation of Islam right now is saying this is not Master Fard Muhammad. I'm saying he is. On the FBI files, they said that the man was locked up in San Quentin. He was a con man. He was a dope pusher. He was a pimp. They got it on file. I'm not making this up. Now, this picture here is the one that the Nation of Islam says is the real Master Fard Muhammad. The one thing that the people don't know, and I'm going to address this in the documentary that's coming next, is that this picture that they don around of Master Fard Muhammad, in fact, is not even a goddamn picture. It's a painting doctored to make it look like a picture. And if you go to the chin, I've done the detective work. This man, they said, is not the real Master Fard. The feds got him on file. Fingerprints Match. If you look at the chin, you can't see it on this picture, but I will show it in my documentary. If you look at the indentation on the chin, you will see the same indentation. They are the same men. The other picture is a painting, and they only give you a side angle. What are they hiding? They're hiding the same goddamn thing that the Muslims, the Orthodox Muslims, is hiding about Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad, they said, they got a picture of Prophet Muhammad faceless. Why we can't see his goddamn face? Because he never existed. It was all mythological. There was no man called Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad is a corruption of the ancient Nile Valley god Hapi, who the ancestors said rests at the foot of the Nile. Now, let's go back into this. The man said that the deities that you see before you, the gods, if you look at them, these images, what do you see? You see men and you see women. In fact, these gods were created from the image of a man. If they are created in the image of man, then it is man that they represent. Where's the image of Allah? Show me in Islam those images. Our ancestors was proud of the image, and they showed that the God was man. What is the Quran and the Bible hiding? What are they hiding? They're hiding the true knowledge of the Nile Valley. They're hiding Amin Ra. They're hiding Asa. They're hiding Aset. The man quoted from Lucia Gallia, I can't pronounce the word right, a European author. How dare you come to me with a European author to try to substantiate the black gods of the Nile Valley. Albert Churchwood, he substantiated Moses. In fact, Albert Churchwood, another racist cracker, right? I'm going to call him by his name, a cracker, devil, tried to interpret our symbols. He's another man trying to actually place the origin or the civilized man as a European. He has only given us credit to say that, yeah, we the primitive man. That's why they say primitive. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, these are all European authors. In fact, Moses, there was no damn Moses. Moses is Pharaoh Thutmose. You can't show me one archaeological finding, a statue. You can't find me a body buried in the ground. But I tell you what you can find. You can go to Kemet and find Thutmose. Yes, you can. You can go straight to his shrine. You can go and find his body buried in the ground. You can't find none of these things. Mathematics. He said they were polytheistic. In fact, they were not polytheistic. This is another trickery of the European to try to make us worshippers of statues. We never worship no damn statue. This was the metal netter. The metal netter is a pictorial, symbolic, psychological psychic language. It is a psychic language is because symbols and pictures send a psychic message to your mind. Every time you see a picture, the picture can tell you thousands of different stories. So in fact, words in themselves are elusive. Words are fraudulent. But the symbol in itself, which represents the spiritual ideal, can resonate and vibrate in your mind until the truth manifests itself. Okay, so now, what I just placed here to you is that Elijah Muhammad said it out of his own mouth, okay, that, in fact, but see, he contradicts himself, because he says that, right here, remember, he talking about the Pharaoh. He said, remember the disgrace suffered by Pharaoh and his people for the opposition against Moses and his followers. Just because Pharaoh feared that Moses would teach the people the true religion, Islam. Stop. How could you go against the Pharaoh when the Pharaoh, which is really the lion ruler, is our ancestors? These were not, in fact, no Europeans. These were the African, these were Afro-Rockins, divine gods. Gods that was teaching that man is God. You can't go nowhere in Islamic history and find that man is God. He said that he teach Islam. I self, Lord and Master. I sincerely love Allah's mathematics. In fact, that, my man, is an acronym. That is not the definition of Islam. Islam is an Arabic word which has an Arabic meaning. These are made up, man, to put us into a bind. This is to enslave us. Islam is to enslave us. Now I just connected you, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to Nile Valley. He said it out of his mouth that the root of civilization in this book.
No, I went here.
In this book.
I showed you it. Right
in this book, out of his mouth, Elijah's mouth, not mine, that the root of civilization is at the rich Nile Valley of Egypt and also the present seat of Mecca. But he's contradicting himself.
Hold up, you said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that.
Yes, he did.
Okay, when he speak, brother, you're going to have to find that.
Oh, I got it right here. Oh, I got it right here. I got it. I got it. The history of the
Hold up. Give the page, give the book so that people can do their research.
This is Elijah Muhammad, the Supreme Wisdom, Book 1. In the book, he says the history of the tribe of Shabazz. It is Allah's will and purpose that we shall know ourselves. Therefore, he came himself to teach us the knowledge of self. Who is better knowing of whom we are than God himself? He has declared that we are the descendants of the Asian black nation and of the tribe of Shabazz. You might ask, who is this tribe of Shabazz? Originally, they were the tribe that came with the earth, or this part of it. 60 trillion years ago, when a great explosion on our planet divided it into two parts. One we call earth, the other we call moon. We, the tribe of Shabazz, says Allah God, were the first to discover the best part of the planet earth to live on, which is the rich Nile Valley of Egypt. And the present seat of the holy city of Mecca, Arabia. And here, Elijah said that, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that when we came to the earth, the oldest city on the earth is the holy city of Mecca. In Arabia. Okay? Mecca is the oldest city on the earth. Mecca is the city that is forbidden. No one can go there but the black man. No one but the Muslim. This is what Elijah said.
2 minutes.
And in fact, that land is ran over with stinking, goat-humping, boy-loving, homosexual, white, pale Arabs. I rest my case. Okay, is Tahuti, is the deities, in fact, real people?
Break down who is the Greek term, what they call them, go into that.
Well, first and foremost, Tahuti. Tahuti, like I told you in the beginning, allegory is a story, a fable, a myth, where the people, places, and things have a mystic or esoteric meaning. Allegory also means you can take historical facts and take each one of the people, places, and the things and put the hidden language of truth or the esoteric truth, which is the higher truth, with real people and real things that happen. When it comes to Tahuti, when you look at the pictures of these statues here, these statues are in the images of men and women. It's not like if you was to go to Arabia and they told you Allah was the great God. You understand what I'm saying? You would, there's no images of Allah. You see what I'm saying? But these images in themselves are the images of great gods and goddesses that actually walk this planet. And the principles in which they personified was the cosmic vibration, or the cosmic principles of the universe. The word neter. The word neter is the word that the Europeans translated to mean God.
Or nature.
Or nature. Because actually, neter is the nature. They took the word neteru, which is the plural form of neter, to make us polytheistic. Because the neteru would mean the gods and goddesses. So in fact, we have a misunderstanding of actually what neters and neterus are. Because in fact, the Africans had no word for God that equals what God is. You couldn't find in one African language, and there are over 2,000 of them, the word God. But you can find the creator. You understand what I'm saying? Now, neter, all of these men and women personified the neters. And when it came to going into the mystery system, what they call the Shetu Neter, the Shetu Neter was the actual organized system where men and women were being initiated into the mystery system. And when I tell you the mystery system, what we mean is we're talking about the science of the stars. That is what is a mystery. You see, I'm not talking about no goddamn spook. I'm talking about the stars. See, but there are things that are still mysterious to us, like your goddamn nose. It's on your face, but you can't see it. You say that the black man is God. You understand what I'm saying? And that God is the mind, but you can't see your goddamn mind, but you know it's there. You understand me? There are energies and vibrations that are circulating our bodies right at this particular time called an aura. But you can't see it with the naked eye. You have to be trained in order to actually see it with your inner eye, your pineal gland. This right here, which is symbolizing the Uraeus on the pharaoh's crown. This symbolizes the pineal gland. It is only through this gland right here in the brain that a man can actually see these energies or this mathematical language. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say, when it comes to Asaf, every black man that went into the temple to become initiated, the moment he reached the realization and the actualization that he was God and that he climbed what they call Jacob's ladder, right? Which is the Yaku he's talking about, right? Which is actually Imhotep's step pyramid. You understand what I'm saying? When he climbs the spiritual ladder and he elevates to different realms of consciousness, he comes into the realm of the I God. When he comes to that realm, this is when he says, Anuk Anuk, meaning I am Asar. So in fact, every man that went through the mystery system, once he became enlightened, he became Asar. So they did live. This is why when you see the black God, the Lord of the Black, his image is the image of a man. Because it was designed and created from the image of a man. When we talk about the great God, Amen. You see what I'm saying? I was accused of, because my name is Natural Tahuti Amen and not Allah, that I was in fact promoting a mystery God. I'm going to prove that Amen is not a mystery God. Amen is not only the uncreated portion of what is called the mind, but he is also the physical man. The damn name means Amen. 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 You understand what I'm saying? So in fact, this is the absolute truth. The reason why it's imperative for us to be connected with these ancient deities is because this is what the white man is hiding from you. He ain't hiding no damn Allah. He ain't hiding no damn Jesus Christ. He ain't hiding that. You can go anywhere around here right now and see a mosque, temple, a goddamn church, or a synagogue. But what is he hiding in the Quran? You know what Quran means? It's a perversion of the word Qur'an. It's the Ku of Ra. This is where it comes from. It means the wisdom of Ra.
Not only is he hiding it, he is also trying to destroy it.
That's right.
Okay, now.
The first thing I want to say is that I'm not doing this for any fame or glory. I do this for the love of my people. When you got knowledge of self, man, you can't keep this shit to yourself, man.
That's right.
Listen, I had knowledge for 30 years. And I'm telling you passionately, man, I love my people. For 25 years of my life, I've been knowing that the teachings of Elijah Muhammad was actually allegorical. And that actually the Nile Valley civilization was the root of civilization that he was talking about in the lessons. I've come to understand that Islam, like Christianity and Judaism, has been the enemy of black folks. That we are dying at the hands of Islamic, in the nation we say we're not a religion. But in fact, if we're not a religion, why the hell are we manifesting that we are Islam? Because you can't separate Islam from the religion. Fact, there was no Islam in the world until the making of the Quran. The Quran was put together at the first meeting of Islam in Cairo, Egypt in 1919. Before then, they didn't even call it Islam. They called it Mohammedanism. Yeah. Muhammad is a fictitious character. Why are we still going to war with each other about these fictitious people that never even existed? In fact, we say Islam means peace. Why the hell we can't say Hotep? Let's give this Arab religion back to this homosexual. I got footage to show you in the Quran, homosexuality. I got footage right here to show you Arabs kissing boys in the mouth. My point is that Islam can't free us. Because when in Africa, when you came to the castle, Elmina, one of the slave castles, one of the things that the white man would do was strip you of everything. He would take everything from you, hoodwink you, cable, and told you. The same Masonic ritual I just explained is in the 1 to 14, crossing the hot burning sands. He would take everything from you, even your language and your name. He would give you then at that point a Christian name. To keep it from being complicated, he named all of the men Adam and named all of the women Eve. When you got to your destination, then you was actually given another name by whatever the damn whim of the slave master wanted to name you. It is in my intention to say that the same process happened to us 1,000 years prior to the Christians enslaving us. Arabs enslaved us in the bloody name of Allah. So if they enslaved us in the bloody name of Jesus, then in the goddamn bloody name of Allah, we cannot be free. Again, Jesus, Mark, Muhammad, Moses, they all fictitious people. They didn't exist. Go cop that book. The world's 16 crucified saviors. I want you to also go get Gerald Massey's lectures. The coming of the religion, Paul, this tells you the whole story about the whole Jesus thing. But this is something I want to get in about the real Islam. There's no Islam that's right. Let me break it down to you how this whole thing came about. The whites and their offsprings attempted to force Afro-Americans into their false belief that whites had a special relationship with God by creating a fictional prophet who was to bring the true religion of God to the people. They desired to control the actions of the Afro-Americans. by forcing the false belief that there is only one God and only one true religion. The whites themselves, hold on, bear with me, please. Desired, okay, the whites desired to make Afro-Americans stop communication with the great God and the great goddesses Amen and Amunet. Our communication with the gods and goddesses, our ancestral spirits, and the nature spirits, so that they would follow this fictional white God and his fictional prophet, and by extension, we would follow the whites themselves. The name of the fictional prophet and their false religion is called Muhammad in Islam. Prophet Muhammad never existed. The term Muhammad is a term the whites stole from the God who is the male spiritual force that operates through the great river in Kemet called the Nile.
Now, who are you reading from, brother?
Huh?
Who is that you reading from?
This information you can go on site to Crazy. I'm gonna get you the exact site.
If it's crazy, I probably got it.
Okay, this is Crazy's information.
Okay.
All right. Prophet Muhammad never existed. The term Muhammad is a term the whites stole from the God who is the male spiritual force that operates through the great river in Kemet, often called the Nile. Because it very rarely rains in Kemet, the people of Kemet are greatly dependent on the great river for the growth of their crops, the well-being of animals and themselves. The people depended on the great river for their survival and their ability to live a good life. The great river of Kemet is the longest river in the world. The name of the god of the river in the language of Kemet is the god Hap, or Happy. The great river Hap flows through the entire country of Kemet. In the language of Kemet, Rinset or Raset means south, and Met means north. The god Hap governed the entire length of the country. The people refer to the god as Hap Rinset, meaning Hap of the south, as he flows in the southern part of the country. Hap Met means Hap of the north, as he flows in the northern part of the country. It was this aspect of the god of the river Hap Met, or Hap of the north, that the whites and their offspring who invaded Kemet were familiar with. The term for water in the language of Kemet is Nu, which they corrupted to the word Mu. Mu Hap Met, thus means water. Mu of the Nile, of the northern Nile, Hap Met and Hap Met. It refers to the god Hap, this spiritual force in creation, as it operates through the river water of the northern Nile. The whites corrupted the title of the god of the waters of the northern Nile to Muhammad, into Muhammad.
Okay, all right, that's peace, brother. Now for you, brother.
Yes.
All right, brother, you held up a book by Gerald Massey,
Yes.
who was a white boy, where you criticized Shy
Sure.
for holding up a book of a white girl. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I was going to get that, but
So now, all right, now to go into my question to show you that all white people, you know, some of them want to come with the information that's correct.
Sure.
All of them, Khalid always said, take their information and use it against them.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right, so now here's the question for you, brother. The man that you was just quoting from, Oswald Kwesi, Dr. Ray Hagen, Walter Williams, all of these scholars have said that these deities are allegorical.
they sure have.
How can you prove to us today that these were mere true images that walk the face of the earth? You said it earlier, and I love the way you broke it down. But now you have the opportunity to do it again. How can you prove that Tahuti was a real character, that Asar and Aset, when Oswald Kwesi, Dr. Ray Hagen, Walter Williams said that this is an allegorical story?
Okay, first and foremost, like I said again, these statues are in the images of real men and real women. Real men and women were the models that the statues were modeled after. So when we're talking about the gods, Tahuti, Asar, Aset, We're actually talking about real men and women who are living in tune with mathematical principles. Those that have raised the Kundalini, the Ra, or in Islam they call it Al-Salat. Salat meaning to rise the fire. When the fire has been risen up the spinal column into the brain and flooding the pineal gland, at that point, all men, all women become a Sa and a Set. So you begin to take on the carnation of the spiritual principles of these men and women. So in fact, the real men and women walk the earth as a Sa and a Set, as Tahuti. Now, in fact, there is a tomb of a Sa. And in that tomb, they have the Holy of Holies. And there are 3 layers in it. According to what I have studied, you can actually go and find the body of a Sa buried in the tomb of a Sa. You can go look for it on site. You can read various other books. I want to introduce somebody to y'all, since we always quoting these male scholars. Here's a scholar many of y'all might not be familiar with. Her name is Drusilla Dungy Hudson.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, this black queen was here on the set before Elijah, before Dr. Ben, before Crazy, before all of them. None of them was on the scene when this black woman, this book was written in 1926. She was already having failing health when the book was published. She also had 2 other books which never came to fruition because she didn't have the funds. This lady, during the time when they were lynching the black man and woman, dared to tell the story of the wonderful Ethiopians of the ancient Kushite Empire. In fact, and I can't find the passage right now, she goes on to say, if there was an Atlantis, if there was a Mu, it was in fact the story about the gods. Asar, Aset, Heru, Tahuti, that walked the earth, that became living principles that the rest of mankind began to fashion their lives after.
Peace. Alright, so what you're saying is that the people on the land, they started putting themselves in the characters of the Tahuti.
Yes.
That brings them to become real characters.
Right.
They started fitting themselves in the spirit into, blowing the breath of spirit into Asar to bring about the life.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to touch on that, brother, before we move forward?
Yeah, we can touch on that.
I want to ask a question.
All right, go ahead.
Before you do that. I would like to ask you this. Now, a lot of times the Egyptians had statues, and they had different animals, you know what I'm saying, appearing as a man. Sometimes they have a cat, sometimes they have a dog, sometimes they have a bird. I would like for you to illustrate or to explain to the people, us, what these different animals meant, you know what I'm saying, and what they represented.
Okay, this is real simple, and I'm going to keep the short version. I'm going to give y'all the short version. What you see here is actually masks. Africans were fond of wearing masks. We wore lots of masks. As a matter of fact, if you've seen the movie Sankofa, the drummer who was drumming to the beat of the ancestors, he was actually in a mask. He had on all white paint on himself because white represents death. So he was communicating to those in the other part of the spirit world, if you will. Which we can, you know, I'm not going to be here spooky. We're talking about the astral plane. We're talking about the mental plane. We're talking about the ethic plane. These are different planes of existence that are real.
But
okay,
spirit.
But now this is spirit. Spirit. Let's not get not mystified about spirit. And the root of the word spirit is the word spiral. The spiral is the actual Tahuti, because in Tahuti's name in the metal nectar is the rope. The rope is the spiral. What is the spiral? The spiral is the DNA. The DNA is the historical information, which is the spirit. The spiral, because spiral is the root of the word spiritual. So let's not get mystified about what it is. When it comes to the animals, these are symbolic descriptions of explaining different principles. Like when we got the dog, like and poo. And Pooh wore the mask of a jackal because the jackal was a clever being. So it represents the principles of cleverness. When we're talking about Heru, Heru had the head of a falcon because of the keen vision of the falcon. We're talking about the third eye as well because Heru symbolizes the eye. Right there, the eye of Ra and the eye of Heru. You see what I'm saying? And so these are spiritual principles that hold. Here it is, right there. The falcon. And this is symbolizing your spiritual vision. Not only is it a man by the name of Heru, but Heru represents the spiritual vision. These are the men that came first who left the example to all mankind to follow. My point.
All right, how about the cat? I'm kind of mystic about what the cat means with the horns in the air and the
One
sun.
of the things about the cat is, you know, the cat can't be trained. You can't train a goddamn cat. You see, the cat represents a lot of different mystic principles, which I'm just giving you the short version of it. You know what I'm saying? If you notice, the pharaoh is always symbolic with the cat. And I don't want to say nothing crazy here, but like the cat ain't like a dog. See, dogs, they shit all over the place. They don't clean after themselves. A cat will actually clean after himself, and a cat will stalk you. You understand what I'm saying? A cat will stalk you. A cat won't just run up on you with the rah-rah. The cat will analyze you, and after he analyzes you, and once he finds the best perfect time to attack you, he will tear your ass up. That question, I would like to answer it. Okay.
Okay, all right, here's the question. Are we Asiatics? Was the whole world called Asia at one time?
Bullshit. This is bullshit. The world was not called Asia. In fact, at one point, the world was called Pangea. Okay? Now, during the continental drift, the continents of what is today called Europe was in fact called, like he said, Eurasia, not Asia. But that whole particular area, Eurasia, and where Asia is today was called Laurasia. In fact. Okay, now when we're talking about, Africa has no validity to it. They're saying that comes from Scorpio Africanus. Bullshit.
Nah, that is
another bullshit story. Because Scorpio Africanus means that he conquered Africa. Because actually, I believe it's in the Temple of Seti, if I'm correct, they have on the wall Afurika or Afurika.
Something like that.
Afurika, which actually means Afuraka, which I'm going to tell you what it means. It means the boat of Ra. Go check out your Kemetic and learn this here stuff. This means the boat of Ra. So actually the boat of Ra was the land where we lived. You understand me? Now when Elijah Muhammad said the Asiatic black man, he wasn't even talking about the landmass. This is Masonic talking. Anybody that knows about the Kabbalah, which is mathematics, again, this is the origin of where they got the mathematics from. And I can't say that the father got it from there because I don't know for sure, but I know that the mathematics that we got is actually like a watered down version of the Kabbalah, which is the tree of life in Kemet. Now, in the Kabbalah, I believe it's the fourth spirit. It's called Asia. All spiritual teachings that are provided to the general public are veiled in symbolism. In the Kabbalah cosmology, there are four worlds. The lowest world is called Asia, which comprises the physical and lower planes of the astral. In the esoteric Nation of Islam theology, Asia is called Asia. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that the whole world was once called Asia. He referred not to the continent, but to the physical and astral planes. He was a master mason, hence the name Honorable. Islam in America is rooted in Moorish science.
That's right.
And the Nation of Islam, so-called black Muslims, Moorish science was the name given to the Islamic teachings of Noble Jew Ali, who in fact was the one who called them Asiatics, who was another Mason, hence by the name Noble. These are Masonic titles that they earned. Okay, the Nation of Islam was founded by Master Fard Muhammad and extended into the international movement by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The nation's current leader is Minister Louis Farrakhan. Those men weren't ego tripping. They used those titles, Noble, Master, and Honorable, because they were Masonic titles, which they earned. As Masons, they taken vows of silence and couldn't speak publicly unless they used twilight language, the language of symbols or symbolic code. Asiatic black man means a black mind, because man means mind. It means a black mind that's established in the astral plane. Esoterically, black symbolizes the state of consciousness that comes about when all thought has ceased. In the Hindu, they call that samadhi. This is super consciousness. Okay, this is the Asiatic black man. When Mr. Muhammad taught of black consciousness, he was referring to thought-free, trance consciousness. This is the Asiatic black man, astral plane, thought-free mind. That was the original man. The yogists call this consciousness samadhi. Esoteric Nation of Islam theology places samadhi then as the original and natural state of man. Hence the original man, meaning the original mind state, which is samadhi. And in closing, the Asiatic black man also refers to subconscious mind. The subconscious mind generates the virtual reality world we inhabit. Thus, the Nation of Islam theology says that the Asiatic black man is the maker, the owner, and the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. When we grasp at the black, white, red, and yellow men were symbols of mental states and functions, we will understand what Mr. Elijah Muhammad was talking about. The new Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad never intended for his followers to become Sunni Muslims or followers of any known sect. He said that a new Islam would be established that will correct the problems inherited in the Islamic world. The new Islam concepts are hidden beneath the symbolism of the black nationalistic Islam he taught.
Okay. How long you been in the nation?
30 years.
And you taught that at one time?
At one time.
The black woman is secondary but most necessary. What made you come into changing that thought pattern?
I began to study the Nile Valley civilization. I began to study the artifacts and the culture, if you will, of what our ancestors were actually manifesting. I want you to take a look at this picture. Right? Everybody knows this picture as the Sphinx. And everybody thinks this is a man.
It's a woman.
This is actually a woman.
Everybody don't think that. Don't say everybody.
Okay, well, most people think it's a man.
Well, just point to that right there, too.
This is the oldest sculpture on the planet. I have to go refer back to Dungy. Dungy said, and I think I have it highlighted because I was waiting for this damn question here. Dungy said, I can't find it real quick. Dungy says, in this book here, The Wonderful Ethiopians of the Ancient Kushite Empire, she said all of the statues that were excavated, the oldest statues in the world were of the female deity. Now, this is going to rock everybody's world right here. When we're talking about the man having the X and Y chromosome, it don't mean he's the primary.
That's right.
In fact, the woman's the primary.
She's the beginning.
And this is going to bust dudes in the head because all this male chauvinistic bullshit, this comes from them Arabs.
Right.
Let me prove this here. The reason she has the X and the X is because she's the goddamn primary. The man, after the 49th day, when the embryo is taking form, it splits off. From the splitting from what it originally is, a female, because all embryos are females in conception. There's no male eggs in there. Everything is female. So even the sperm traveling from the man into the woman, it is female. What determines it from being female is at the 49th day when it splits, and it will either stay as it originally was, or it will become a male. Now, before we get off of this subject, I gotta tell you, and I'm going below the belt on this one. I gotta go below the belt on this one. This is a little off the topic. This is why they keep telling you about the woman being secondary, man. That's that Arab shit. Cause them niggas is homos. I want you to zoom the camera in on this here. Zoom the camera in. You see that? You see that Arab kissing that boy in the mouth? Pedophilia in Islam. Homosexuality in Islam is punishable by death. But pedophilia is permissible. Let's go down. The Quran, Surah 52, Ayat 24. Round about them will serve devoted to them young male servants, handsome as pearls, well guarded.
Damn, what surah is that, man?
Yeah, that's 52.
Ayat 24.
Ayat 24.
Woo!
Let's go into Surah 76:19. Allah promises fresh youths to Muslim men, and around about them shall go youths, never altering in age. When you see them, they will think them to be scattered pearls.
That's what it says inside the Quran?
Yes, that's in the Quran. Now,
Right here.
Get the chapter.
get the Quran.
That's what it says in the Quran.
That's the Quran.
Tell them the ayat.
Go to Surah 52. Ayat 24. Now, let me tell y'all the reason why they say it's shirk to associate partnerships with Allah.
Now, what does shirk mean?
Shirk means that it is deplorable, that it is despicable, that it is punishable by death. That it don't go with Islam. They said don't associate partnership with Allah. You know why they said that? That's an escape hatch. Because Allah actually did have a female counterpart. Her name is Alat. Alat. That was his female counterpart. So the reason they didn't want you to go and dig up
Surah
that.
52 what?
Because Allah, and I got the pictures to show you. The name Allah in the desert was the moon god. And it was the daughters of Allah who is Alat, which is the female counterpart. So they put that escape hatch in there so that you wouldn't know that the female is equal to the male. Male and female are both equal. You know why I say that? The body is just the physical. What about the mind that's in there? Woo. The mind is who we are, not the damn body. The body is just the vehicle. Actually, I believe that that's that man's interpretation of Asiatic.
Right.
Because actually, if you go over there right now, brothers and sisters, in Mauritania, in Sudan, in Palestine, I think one of those areas, Africans are right now enslaved to the Muslims. They are enslaved in the name of Allah.
Right.
To call them an Asiatic was a term that they called them, which means the same as a nigger. Asiatic, if you tell an original person you call them Asiatic, it's a derogatory term. Let me tell you another term. Abi. Abi is an Islamic word. I want you to think about Abu Bakr, and I want you to think about Bilal. Abu, or the Ab of Allah, means the slave. And guess what they call the black man and woman over there? They call them Abis.
Right.
The slaves. The goddamn black slaves. Wow. This is why I say wholeheartedly that they wasn't giving us Islam. Elijah was under oath. He came out of the Shriners, where the Shriners, they teach Islam, but they also got the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Right.
So I'm saying the lessons was an allegorical form, a symbolic language to get us to actually go home. One last thing before I hang up the phone here. The word, here we go. I'm going to show you what these damn beasts is hiding. Who's got a pen? All right, let's go into this here. Okay. First, we're going to go into the word Ra, right? Then we're going to Quran. The Quran, the Holy Quran. The Quran is actually which they call, hence the name the Muslims call it, the Book of Wisdom.
Right.
The K-U-U, means wisdom. And Ra, it was called Ku of Ra, the wisdom of Ra. So hence, this is where you get your book, the Quran, how it was named. They named it after the Ku of Ra, meaning the wisdom of Ra. Okay, because I have lately been the center of
That's why I said
controversy.
that. That's why I had to say that.
I have been the center of controversy because, and I make no goddamn apologies about anything that I
You
say.
just want to clear up.
But I need to clear this. The Father is my spiritual teacher. My foundation is from the Father.
Let him finish
Yeah.
making his paint, and then we're gonna go right in.
I want to clarify this, man. You know, my foundation is the nation of gods and earths. We were formerly called the 5% nation of Islam, and then it was changed to the nation of gods and earth.
Why was that changed, man? Who changed that? Because the father had the
know.
5%.
If you don't know, I'll tell you.
Okay, but let me clarify something. I honestly don't know who did the changing there. But I'm going to tell you that I love the nation of gods and earth. I've been here 30 goddamn years. My babies, my women, all the women that ever been with me, been in the nation. Why would I just get up and try to attack my foundation? I'm not attacking the nation of gods and earth.
So you saying this is what some of the members accuse you of or something?
Brothers is accusing me of being a 10%. Some people say, natural, what is your agenda? You know what I'm saying? Some people accusing me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Fine. All I'm saying is, man, I love Allah. I love the Father. The Father came and manifested His reality. And look where He born. But He told us that we were gods. And guess what, family? I'm the goddamn Father now. And this is the knowledge that I'm bringing forth. So all I'm saying, know what I'm saying? First and foremost, you're going to want to start learning the history. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the books, Wonderful Ethiopian Ancient Kushite Empire by Drusilla Dungy Houston, written in 1926. She was the forerunner. Nobody came before her in written form, from what I understand.
Have Dr. Ben ever quoted her?
Dr. Ben, yes. I believe
Okay.
Dr. Ben, yes. All of them know about her.
All right, beautiful.
We got Stolen Legacy. Strong black man. In the odds of racism, they murdered this man. They murdered this man for the knowledge that he revealed. The brother name is George G.M. James. I want to tell you, you need to get into this. The Kabbalion. The Kabbalion deals with the science of mental transmutation. Because what we're talking about here, when we're dealing with ancient Kemetic stuff, we're talking about transforming, transmuting energies. We're talking about our behaviors. We need to transmute our behaviors into that which is godlike. This is what it means when it say knowledge of self. That means that we got to begin, stop acting like a savage, and learn how to get control of our minds. This book deals with that. It's called The 7 Hermetic Principles. The mental transmutation, the mental universe, the divine paradox, the all in all, planes of correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, gender, mental gender, and Hermetic axioms. Okay, Metal Nectar by Ra Nefer Amen. He actually goes into breaking down the gods and goddesses and gives you what these divisions of spirit is. This is not polytheism. This is all one God. Because the one can divide himself into the many. It's like this. You begin as one single cell. That one single cell, by the time it hits the egg, it splits to 2. The 2 splits to 4. The 4 splits to 8. The 8 splits to 16. And you begin to multiply at a velocity of a rate and become billions of cells made up in this one body that makes you the illusion that you are only one. but you are actually a multiplicity of beings, because each cell is an intellectual, intelligent, spiritual being of its own. It don't need you to say, do this or do this. It can do the damn job on its own.
That's right.
So we're not only physically multidimensional, mentally we're multidimensional, astrally we're multidimensional, emotional, and on all of the planes we are multidimensional people. You gotta get this, man. The historical origin of Islam. There has never been a man on the planet that walked this earth by the name of Muhammad. It's a lie. It was all a science to keep us locked into a cube.
Sean, you see that book right there you holding up?
That book by
Walter
This
Williams.
is Walter Williams. You gotta get this, and I'm gonna break it down for you. They do a ritual. The ritual is called the Hajj. The Hajj actually began as a mental ritual by the man who his name is Ibn al-Arabi. This is the Muhammad they're talking about. They made up the fictitious name Muhammad, like I showed you how they did, and gave it to the man whose name is Ibn al-Arabi, and fashioned his life after that, who is the man that they're talking about.
So if Prophet Muhammad didn't exist, brother, what about Ibn Abdullah?
Ibn means son of. Abdul means the slave of. Remember I told you.
So you know who he supposed to be, Ibn Abdullah?
Yeah.
The first person who called him the Muezzin?
Oh, you talking about Bilal?
Bilal, right. That's what I'm talking about, Bilal.
Please let me get into that right now.
But I'm surprised.
Do I have time?
I'm surprised, brother, that you have not brought the book, The Destruction of Black Civilization.
That's a good book.
I had it,
That's
man,
the way.
and I
That's a
didn't
good
bring it
book.
with
Yeah, I
me.
got it.
Right, that right there is
That's the
great.
best
Sit down.
joint.
That's the first book that I
Right.
bought.
That's
Yo,
the best
I wanna-
joint. One of the bestest.
If you give me the opportunity, I'm gonna break down Bilal
But
and
it's
all
on
that.
there too.
All of that is mythological. Bilal didn't exist neither.
All right, I heard somebody said the same thing.
Yeah.
Bilal is another corruption of the
creations,
god
man.
Baal. And I'm gonna get into that right now because I was getting into this and I kind of got cut off.
At the council that scene.
Okay, I'm gonna pick it up from where I talked about Muhammad is Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Right. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna have to let Shah have the close out, the fight
Okay.
close out.
For thousands and thousands of years, I'm picking it back up where I left off. For thousands and thousands of years, the Afro-Rakans have communicated with the god Hap and invoked his spirit under the names Hap-Renset and Hap-Met. And Muhammad they also did. Not only have we fed our bodies with the water of the god, we have also energized our spirits with the unique energy of this spirit, who operates through the river water. Every year, the raining season in the lands of the south of Kemet causes the water of the great river in Kemet to swell until the river floods its banks, creating a tremendous lake. After a certain period, the floodwaters begin to decrease until they are no longer flooding the land on both sides of the river. The land on both sides of the river, after having been underwater for a period of time, is now very wet and fertile. At this time of the year, the people of Kemet have always gone out to plant seeds in the fertile soil because the land is so wet and fertile. After the flood of Hap, a harvest of large crops was usually guaranteed. The coming of the god Hap to soak the land on both sides of the river is thus called the coming of one who is a bringer of a great harvest, abundance, a good life, and peace. The whites supplied this knowledge to the god Hapmet, to a fictional white male, and created the false belief that this fictional character was the last messenger of God and came to bring the world peace, or Islam. The term Islam is another corruption of the whites. The root of the term Islam is Salim, or Salam. Salam is a corruption of the name Sarim. Again, there's no L's in Kemet. Of the name Sarim, which is an ancient title of the god Hap. In the language of Kemet, Sarim is composed of Sa, which means shrine or sanctity of a god or goddess. And Rim means tear or moisture from the eye. The swelling of the waters of the river is said to be caused by the moisture or a tear from the eye of Ra, or Ret, the female counterpart of Ra. The Great Spirit, because moisture in the eye indicates compassion. The goddess Aset also, as she operates through the star system called Sapadet, called Sirius, was referred to as the Eye of Ra. It is from Aset or Aset Sapadet, the Eye of Ra, the divine teardrop falls, which begins the swelling of the river Hap every year. This is because the yearly flood of the river was occasioned by the rise of the star Sapadet, when this star, which is the brightest star in the sky, would rise at the beginning of the year. It was an indication that the great flood was coming. Thus, for thousands of years, the people of Kemet have celebrated the beginning of the flood of the river of Hap during a holy day. Almost finished. Let me get to the end of this. Man. So a holy day, night called the night of the drop. It's called the night of the drop, meaning the night of the divine teardrop. Oh shit. The night of the divine teardrop, right? Shit. Okay, here we go. Which is the star or the Eye of Ra. The river Hap is the sanctuary, or the Sa, the divine moisture of the tear rim. Oh shit. Okay, this is almost to the close. Almost to the close. Okay. Hap-met or Sarim for the survival and abundance as a means to maintain peace, as a way of life. The whites corrupted the god Hap-met to its title. Fuck. Oh shit! I done lost the damn thing, man. I'm trying to get this thing to y'all, man. This is so important.
All right, now we're gonna move over to shop.
I apologize, family.
You'll be able to get to it when I see you.
Look now while I'm going, that's all.
Okay. Hey, remember I told you still ain't answered Bilal, brother. That was the first
question. I got
question.
it right here.
I thought that's what he was on.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Bilal.
Yeah, go right to it.
It's just important that you get this because, let me get Bilal. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay, I got it. Here we go. I'll start from here. Okay, the entire, here we go. Understand that the R and the L are interchangeable linguistically. In Kemet, as well as the derivative Akan language, there is no L, just a rolling R. All words with L in them are translated in both languages and pronounced as the rolling R. Okay, okay, I got it now. Okay, now, here we go. There is much more to the story, as Bilal is none other than the ancient god Baal, B-A-A-L, or B-E-L.
Oh, man.
In Kemet, Baal is the form of Set. He is called Bar, or Bar-Er, Bar the Great, because Baal, or Baal-Il, and Bilal...
Who's that? Aswa Crazy?
No, this is another brother who's on the set, and I'm going to get his name for you at the end of this. Okay, Set, oh, this is powerful here, right here. Y'all going to love this one. Set is the god of the desert in Kemet, amongst other things and functions. The deserts are just outside of the fertile plains of the Nile Valley. This is why Mu-Hap-met, waters of the northern Nile, flood the Nile Valley. Oh shit. Flood the Nile Valley. Okay, flood the Nile Valley. This is why Mu-Hap-met floods the Nile Valley. The very first land that is flooded outside of the Nile Valley are the deserts. Bilal, or Bar-Er. The Kushite Ethiopian black-red individual desert was the first convert of Muhammad. Bilal, being burnt in the desert sands.